Hello, everybody. My name is Edward S. Redcar, and I'm the host of Edward S. Redcar's Entertainer Chat. And today I have the awesome and excellent pleasure of speaking with Kristen Duff, director, producer, actress, singer, model, among all other things. And we'll get into all that today with our talk here with Kristen. So, Kristen, how are you today?
I am doing fabulous today. It is 85 degrees in Kentucky, and I'm doing the best today.
Great, great, great. Yeah, we were just talking here before we started the show, and yeah, I was saying that it's 85 degrees up here in central New York State too. I'm glad that both got the same temperature and we got the summer weather, and yeah, it's going to be a great rest of the summer. Yeah, yeah. I always like to find out how each of my guests got into the part of the entertainment field that they're involved in, whether it's singing or acting or dancing or being a musician. So, um, like I said, you are into like so many things. So, I'll pose the question to you: how did you become interested in acting and modeling, screenwriting, directing, and producing?
So, how I got into acting, modeling, screenwriting, writing, producing, and and soon to be director. Uh, So when I was pretty much the ages between 3 to 4 years old, I'd watched channels like Disney Channel. I'd watched Nickelodeon. I grew up on all that stuff, and I always wanted to be an actress my whole entire life.
Uh-huh. And
And
now, yeah, and now not only that, but like on TV, now you got Netflix and Amazon Prime, and you probably watched all that too, right?
yeah, yes.
Yeah, yeah. There's so much more available today than when I grew up in the caveman days. There were only three networks, and no movie cassettes or anything or USB drives. That was like back then. That was like science fiction. That was something for the future. The only way we could see the movie was actually to in person to go to a movie theater. So yeah, everything the way it is today, it's so much more convenient and
Yeah.
yeah. So watching all of those things, online or whatever, you probably absorbed a lot of that and you learned a lot from that, right?
Yes, yes, I have.
Yeah, yeah, a lot, and you had a lot more variety to choose from because, like I said, when I grew up a million years ago, um, we just had. I'm aging myself now, but yeah, we only had the movie theaters, so yeah, it's so much more of an advantage today to have such a variety to pick from to learn from. Uh, as far as modeling goes, when did you first start modeling?
So when I first started modeling was pretty much the same time I started acting when I was 15. So I started modeling when I was 15 too. And the first model campaign, well, yeah, the first modeling gig I ever got was with Original Hippie, which is like a clothing line.
Uh-huh.
And I like in Arizona. I think it's like Arizona or California brand,
Okay.
but that was my very first modeling gig.
Wow. Wow. So, in your modeling, you've done that was like runway modeling, was it, or was it like a mixture of runway and like print photography modeling, or?
It was print. I
Oh,
haven't done runway yet because I'm just five. Well, I'm 5'5". Yeah.
that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Yep, it doesn't matter.
You got the talent and you get on the runway and you do your runway walk, your one runway strut if you got the talent and you got the passion for it, it'll come through. So, it doesn't matter if you're 7'5" or like you were saying, 5 foot, what, 5'5" you said?
Yes, 5 foot
Okay,
five.
it doesn't matter as long as you got the passion. People will enjoy you seeing you on the runway and seeing you enthused about the fashions you would be wearing. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you want to do runway modeling, go for it. Just go for it. So if you got a passion, just go for it. I'm sure everybody would want to see you up there on the runway on the catwalk too up there. So yeah, yeah. So, as far as screenwriting, um, how did you become interested in writing?
So how I became interested in writing is I have always loved to write. Like that has been a big thing for me. I love to write. Like absolutely love it. I just think I do it for fun. Used to I did it just for fun. I just love it. And when I got into screenwriting with my writing, so I was about to film my very first film with LaDawn Whitmire in
Mhm.
this in 20 is in 2021. And she told me and she said, you should make a short film. You should make a
Uh-huh.
horror film. And I think that would help you and you can be a director like me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And my audience doesn't know about this yet, but I do because you told me in the written word before the interview that the name of your first film was Point Isabel. So that's the one you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Uh, how um, how long would you say that it took you to write? Write the screenplay for that.
It took me a month to do the whole
Okay.
entire. So pretty much probably it took me a week, probably 7 to 9 days to write it.
Wow,
And
wow,
I
wow.
took weeks after that and my dad helped me film it. So we went to this hiking trail and we
Uh-huh.
filmed there since it was placed in the woods. So
That's cool. It's like excuse me.
oh,
Um, it's
it's
like well, let me take a little sip of water here. So, and if you got something by you, a cup or a glass or whatever, cheers, cheers.
okay. Cheers.
No, I was going to say that yeah, that's awesome. You were in the woods there, and you like be in the woods or hiking, whatever. So it's like you got to do two things at once, right? Be out there in the outdoors in nature and do do what you love, right? Movie making, script writing, and things like that. So yeah, 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 yeah. And if I can remember correctly, you were saying that you were what, 15 years old at the time?
Yes.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, I mean, that's all very interesting and awesome about how you got involved in your acting, modeling, screenwriting, directing, producing. So, besides all of that, I noticed in some of your posts that you're involved in the Knott County Central High School speech and debate team, and
Yes.
which won an award this year. Totally awesome. I've seen all your Facebook posts about the trophy, and you standing there on the steps with your fellow speech and debaters there on the steps, and totally awesome. And besides your speech and debate interests, have you also been involved in a lot of school plays and local community theater?
Yes. So I have been in a lot of local theater lately doing I've done I think two plays this summer. I've done I think it's called Midsummer Midnight Stream by Shakespeare.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, 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 that's one of his more famous plays. Well, that's quite an undertaking. I mean, Shakespeare, I mean, that's that's no small task there. I mean, learning Shakespeare.
Mhm.
Did it take you a while to kind of absorb all the lines and kind of remember all the lines the way they used to speak back then?
It actually did. I'm not really like I don't know that literature and Shakespeare that well. Like I know like where I live, our literature, but back then it was very different. It really was. And I'm very happy that I got to learn about that, got to learn about how they spoke back then, their
Mhm.
acting, just the really good history about plays and theater and how it became theater.
Mhm. Mhm. I know once that I read, well, where they first performed them over in England back then in Shakespeare's time, the Globe Theater. It was sort of like
Yeah.
in the open,
Hmm.
and I think back then, I don't know if they had like an equal amount of like male and female actors to take the parts. So I guess in a lot of his plays in the Globe Theater, even some of the women's parts were played by men. I don't know if you
Yeah.
knew that. Yeah, and they dress up as women and they would play like the women's part. So I always found that really interesting and not only that, but to perform in that round theater that was out in the open, and yeah, that was totally awesome. And so,
Wow.
and, like community theater, um, uh, is there is there a lot of productions like in your local community theater there?
Yes, there is. We have something called Appalachian Arts for our area, especially where I live. And they have like they give you acting classes, theater classes. It's really good. And it's like it's not that expensive neither, but it's also local.
Okay, so then you have plenty of opportunity to get involved in that. So is it because I know like in my area we've got a few different local community theater groups, and a lot of times they put plays on, say like starting in September, and then they end their season like in say like in May, and then they take the summer off, and then they start up again in September of each year in the fall. So is that the same way where you are? Like
Yes.
September through May, take the summer off?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So in your speech and debate team, um, what how did you get interested in that in joining that in group?
So how I joined the speech and debate team is before I joined, I moved 3 different times. Because my mom, like, she got her job transported to other areas. Um, I'm originally from Eastern Kentucky.
Okay,
And so I moved from there to Southern Kentucky. And then I moved back that I can finish up, graduate high school. And I went to a different school, which was not central.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
And
And
was
of
uh, was that like compared to the high school that you're going now? Was it like a bigger school with more students or a smaller school or
I'm from a very small school where I'm originally from.
okay?
It is a little bit of a bigger school. It was very much of a change, but it was a very good change though, and a good place to graduate from.
Oh yeah, yeah, because like a bigger place like that, you're exposed to so many other different things that you can try, right? So many different interests, like you were saying, your speech and debate team, besides your acting and everything else you do. So yeah, that was definitely a plus for you. So
Yeah.
and besides your acting, like on stage and like the movie that you first made when you're 15 and being in speech and debate team. You are now in been cast in a horror movie that's in production right now. It's called Don't Make a Sound, and
Yeah.
expected to be released soon. And that's also um, uh, produced, directed, written, created by your good friend LaDon Whitmire. And could you tell us a little bit about your role in it and what the film's about?
So don't make a sound. So my role in it is Jamie, and she's this girl that like there's a lot of people in it that like it's about this serial killer, and he goes around and he like stalks families, and he abducts especially children and some adults, and he goes around and he stalks homes, he abducts kids. And Jamie, her role, and he also records when he's abducting kids too. So pretty much when he's going around kidnapping people, he has his camera on and just he's ready to file it, record it, everything. And the role of Jamie, so her role's like kind it's pretty big. It's a pretty big role in Don't Make a Sound, and her role is she screams for her life. Pretty much her role pretty much tells the plot of the movie about her getting abducted, and she's also like she runs from this killer. It's pretty much about a girl being abducted by a serial killer. That's pretty much her role.
Okay, okay. So there's is there a lot of like outdoor on location scenes besides say like indoor scenes in it?
Yes.
Okay, okay. And I know that this movie is going to be just as awesome as the other movies that LaDon has made with all of her other movies she made with the premieres in it and all of the talent that she draws to all of her projects. And yeah, I don't even have to wonder if this film is going to be great, because I know it's going to be great because the good track record that she has for putting on all these excellent film stories and everything.
Yes, I love her films. They're like she just writes them so well, and the stories and the plots. They're awesome.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, yeah, she's a very talented writer. Very easy to get along with. I found I've had a lot of conversations with her, and just like you, a few years ago, she interviewed you on what was it, like an Instagram live? She had it one
Yeah,
time.
it was an
So yeah, 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 and uh, interview show, and yeah, she's very easy to talk to, and I've had other conversations with her since then. Very easy to work with, very easy to talk to, and just a pleasure to know. Which I know that you already know that. So I'm not telling you anything you don't know, right?
no.
Yeah. So besides that film, the most recent film that's in production, you were cast in the role of Julia in the film Purse,
Yeah.
which premiered back in January 2022 and was also written, directed, produced by LaDon and created by LaDon Whitmire. And it starred Eric Roberts. I mean, that's pretty good stuff right there, Eric Roberts, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, can you tell us, a little bit about what the movie was about, your role, and what your experiences were like working in that film and Eric Roberts?
So my role as Julia in Purse, yes, Purse. Julia, so she was the main character sister, which was Ella in Purse. And the story about Purse is Julia is like she's a college student back in Juilliard. She's studying acting and theater, and she's pretty much working towards her future. And Ella, which is played by Carrie Smith, there's this purse that passes around from generations to generation, pretty much throughout the story. And this purse is possessed and cursed. And this purse can cause people, there's some victims in it, and there may not be some victims in it. We never know.
We're constantly kept in suspense, right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You know, that reminds me of a film that I was recently in. It's yet to be released. I don't know if you ever heard of the name of the story, The Monkey's Paw. Did you ever hear the name of that story, The Monkey's Paw? It's like I guess it's a story that's been around a while, like in different forms, and it was all about where there's actually like a mummified monkey's paw, uh, just the paw of the monkey, and this one man is given it by someone else, and so every time a different person gets a monkey's paw, they're granted three wishes. And so they have to use the three wishes up before they turn over the paw or give the paw over to somebody else. So it's kind of a horror, suspense, mystery, and I'm not going to give it away because the film hasn't come out yet. But that that reminded me when you were talking about the purse. That kind of reminded me of that film that I was in. So yeah, that's another suspense thriller that you and everybody else out there is going to have to wait for too. So yeah, so like how's it working with Eric Roberts?
Eric Roberts was awesome. Like, he's one of the most sweetest people that I've ever worked with, I've ever met. And
Uh-huh,
it's
uh-huh.
cool because he's Julia Roberts' brother.
Yes, yes, yes. I know it. I know it. Is let's see. Um, his wife is she involved in the entertainment industry? Because I know he's married, but I'm not sure if his wife is like involved in the entertainment industry or not.
Um, I don't know. She could be. I have
Yeah,
no idea.
yeah.
Pretty sure
I
maybe.
seen the both of them. Oh, a few years back. It was sort of like on some like online program, and both of them were on there. And yeah, she was on there with Eric Roberts. So all of us that were like on that inline online show or whatever, we got to so well we got to meet her, but it was virtually. So yeah, so yeah, very nice couple. Yeah, him and his wife, very nice couple. Um,
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, yeah, and besides Percy, I mean, you've been in a lot of productions associated with Ladon. So the other one of the other productions you were in the film as the assistant director that I read. Kudos to you, assistant director in Chryssander. Written, produced, directed, created by LaDon Whitmire. And this time it's like, wow, starring Daniel Baldwin. It's like, wow. And I mean, really, yeah, it's like, my God, she's worked with Eric Roberts. Like now it's like Daniel Baldwin. It's like, my God, you know. So what was your experience like being the assistant director? And was that your very first time of being an assistant director?
Yes, that was my very first time I was ever assistant director, and it was awesome, an amazing experience.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I imagine that, like in this film, working with Daniel Baldwin and the other film working with Eric Roberts, I can imagine that you learned so much, right? I mean, absorbed a lot of things that maybe you've seen them do on camera acting. So that was sort of like a learning experience, right? I mean, all about acting.
Yes, it was a awesome experience, and I'm so happy I got to connect with Daniel Baldwin too, because he helped me so much in the future. He helped me with more gigs, more jobs. I mean, he's just a great guy, great
Cool,
person.
cool, cool. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I mean, they've had such long careers and a lot of people and a lot of things happening in the entertainment industry. And sure, I mean, when they see someone like you that's got that much talent, I mean, it's like the sky. I mean, with you, it's like the sky's the limit. Like I said in the beginning of the show, you're into everything, acting and debating and modeling and everything. So yeah, they see the talent that you have. So um, I'm sure that they enjoy watching you perform. So they want to give us, the rest of us, the opportunity to see the great things that you do and whatever you do. So yeah, so kudos to you. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. Kudos to
Oh,
you.
thank you. You.
Yeehaw, right? Yeehaw, right? Yeehaw. Yeah. I toast to you. I toast to Kristen Duff,
I
assistant director and model and so many other things. So here's to Kristen Duff.
cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. So yeah, even more things that you've done. You've also been involved in the film Imani, and which a few years back, 2, 3 years back, another one of LaDon Whitmire's productions back in 2021. And so in that film, you were cast in the role of Jasmine. And
Mhm.
so, can you tell us a little bit about that role and what the film was about, and your experiences in that film?
So as Jasmine and Amani, so Jasmine was one of the main antagonists. Like she was the main bad person. Like so the plot of the story is it is about a Persian empire that fallen a long time ago, and Jasmine, her soul was left behind. Like her siblings, they got to have another life and they're living life and they have a soul and they have a future and they're just living on earth happy. And Jasmine, she's trapped in this thing. Like, I think, yeah, it's like a box. Her soul is trapped in it.
Oh
And
wow,
yeah,
yeah. So what kind of a box is it? Something like like a music box or something like a jewelry box or
it's like a jewelry box. Like, it's kind of like a music box
oh
and like
okay,
one, but it's a jewelry box too.
okay, okay. How long did it take to film that production, Imani?
It took 2 weeks.
Oh, two. Wow, that's great. That's great. So is that like all the other films that you've worked on with her, Chrysander and Purse and all of those? Is that the average amount of time that it takes to make those films, like 2 weeks?
2 weeks? Well, 2 weeks can sometimes be like a shorter time for filming. Sometimes
Okay.
it can be a month or even 2 months. But I'm very lucky that that one was particularly 2 weeks. But I have done some films that last a month long or maybe even more, sometimes even more.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Probably depending on the length of the story and yeah, yeah. So all
Mhm.
of these films that you've worked in, um, was that done like say during the summer months, like during your summer vacation from school?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it would be real difficult for you to be going to school and all the other things that you do in school and then film besides. Yeah, that that's what I assume that when you had a lot of time during the summer. So all of these films were they all shot? Because I know. which I've already spoken to Ladan a few days ago, recorded the interview. So I got the pleasure of talking to her about all of this too.
Yeah.
And I know that she's based in Atlanta, Georgia, where her TSLW Production LLC is, and you're in Kentucky. So we're all like all of those other films, like Imani and Purse, and the one we've just been talking about. Were those all shot in and around the Atlanta area?
Yes. Usually
Okay.
I do film work. I usually go to Atlanta, and usually, especially in major films, when I get my major, it'll probably be in like California or Atlanta, because I'm going to be going to California for college as well. That's
Oh,
going
really? Really?
to
Congratulations. Wow, yeah. That's the big time. That's the big time out there. California. Yeah. 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 Well, no, it's good, that all those films were shot in and around excuse me, the Atlanta area. So it's like each time when you make a film, it's like you're familiar with the area, and you probably get a lot more comfortable faster, right? Than having to go like in a different locale every time for filming a different film, right? I mean, uh,
Yeah.
you're used to it, so you
Yep.
can yeah, you can get right to the business of learning your lines and learning your blocking and everything like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I know. Yeah, Ladon, yeah, she was telling me that's where she based her. Well, she lives in the Atlanta area anyway, so yeah, it's really convenient to have her production company right there where she is. So
Yes.
besides all of your interests, your directing and your screenwriting and acting and everything like that. You've also been nominated, not one, but 2 years in a row for the Young
Yeah.
Artist Academy Awards. Congratulations on your
Thank,
nominations.
thank you
And
so
yeah, and uh, you've also been, but besides that, you've also been nominated for your talent in the Nova Star Awards. Congratulations again. Congratulations again. And
much.
and all and also it's like, my gosh, and also you've been nominated for the Outstanding Influencer Award. It's like, my God, kudos. I'm really not worthy. I bow down to you. It's like you're my entertainer god. It's like, oh my God, i'm standing I'm standing in the presence of such talent here. It's like, yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about each of these awards and just how it felt to be nominated?
Yes. So on my 16th birthday of last year, when I turned 17, I got nominated for my very first award, which was the Young Artist Academy. And I stayed up all night because I wasn't able to go due to a flood that hit my area, and it was bad. And my house almost got flooded away and everything.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Wow. Yeah, no, I know Kentucky has really gotten hit hard recently with all those floods and everything. Yeah, that must have been absolutely terrible. So uh, were you like separated from your home and your neighborhood? I mean, you probably had to you and your family probably had to stay somewhere else while the floodwaters receded. Did you have to be relocated?
Um, yes, we had to stay in a hotel for a little bit,
Okay, okay.
and it was like we had to stay for about 2 days. Um, we got electricity within a week, and then
Okay.
like a week later, like it took like 2 weeks, and then we got water back. It was bad. It was
Yeah,
really,
yeah, yeah. Was
but
Was there, say, a lot of damage in your home, like flood damage, or did you lose, any items, like furniture, or like clothing, or anything?
So my house didn't get damaged, but the outside of it kind of did.
Oh,
But
okay, okay. Like,
destroyed.
yeah, like a lot of water damage, like on the siding of the house, and you, probably when the flood waters receded, you could probably see like a watermark on the outside of your house where the flood waters rose to. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It was crazy.
yeah, 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 yeah. And well, I imagine that everything is straightened out now, right? I mean, you're back in your home and your neighborhood is sort of like return to normal
Yeah, it's completely normal now. I'm very thankful and grateful that I have everything and everything is normal now,
now.
finally.
Yeah, no, I know at the time when anybody goes through anything like that, it's like it's going to like seem that it's going to last like forever. But yeah, eventually those things do turn around with the help of a lot of people. Everybody comes out and lends a helping hand, and everybody comes together, and it's sort of like one big family, right? Everybody helping each other get back on their feet, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was so
No, go
oh,
ahead. Go ahead.
great. But in my area we had this like sign that said, United, it was like United together and departed we fall.
Yes, yes,
But
yes. No, that's so true. That's so true. Everybody, if you just try to do everything yourself, it's like it's never going to work. But everybody lending a hand, and one person knows how to do this, and then another person knows how to do that to help things get back online. Yeah, it's so much better when everybody pulls together like that. So yeah, yeah, you were saying before about your nomination in the Nova Star Award. Um, uh, you were telling me before this, leading up to this, that for that award you got nominated for Best Leading Short Film Actress for your own film, Point Isabel, which we already talked about a while ago, and you said that you broke into tears. That's uh, your emotions all came out right then, right? It's probably
yeah.
you're just welling up, so everything just spilled out, right?
Yes, I was so happy when I got my Young Artist Academy nomination for the first time. First nomination ever. I was so happy. I everything. I was so happy.
It was probably like a surreal experience, right? Like out of body experience where it's like you never expected anything like to happen, right? Something like that. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And then you were also saying that your next nomination, the Young Entertainer Awards, and you got that for Best Influencer,
Yeah.
and that must have been an awesome experience as well, right? Not it's like not only one award, but you got another award on top of that. So you must have been just like beside yourself. It's like, wow, one, two, wow, I can't believe it, right? I imagine like your family was probably so proud of you, right, for all that notoriety that you received.
Thank you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And let's see, you were also saying that you were nominated uh, for the in the same Young Artist Award for a second role that you were the producer for a documentary film that you also made about the flood that you were just talking about, and
Yeah.
that was called "The Flood That Changed My Home." And
Yes.
uh, besides being recognized for that must have been like extra emotional because probably not you not only had the emotions like the overwhelming, pleasure, of being recognized like that, but also it was like really personal because it was something from your life, right? So it's like the emotions must have been like double, right? When that
Yeah.
happened.
The emotions, like when I was creating the film, so I was actually going to make my first movie during that time by myself,
Okay.
but then the flood hit and I couldn't find any time at all. And no, like we barely, like I couldn't go home and get my camera and get all my stuff that I needed.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
thing from the flood.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe I can make a documentary about this.
Sure. 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 Right. Yeah. Tell about the good stories and the bad story. I mean, that's all part of filmmaking, right? We tell about happy stories and then, sad and not so happy stories. So it's yeah,
Yes.
all about telling the story. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so when you made that film and when that unfortunate weather situation, the flooding and everything happened, what time of year was that? Spring, summer, fall?
It was actually it was on July 28th and the
Okay.
anniversary today's 26th. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah, 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 yeah. So, well, yeah, um, I guess that date you'll never forget, right? July 28th. And
anniversary.
when that happened, and so now I'll never forget it, and everybody out there will never forget it too. So, yeah, thank you for mentioning the date. So every year on that date, we'll always think of what happened in Kentucky and also that kind of tragic situation that happens, all too often, not only in
Yeah.
our country, but all over the world. So thank you for mentioning that date there. Um,
Oh,
so
you're
yeah, because I was going to ask you that when that tragedy happened, if it happened like during your school year, because like you were saying before that the films with Ladan only happen in the summer when you have a lot of time. So that kind of answered my question right there about if you had time to shoot that film. So
yeah.
with everything that you've been doing, you're debating and speech and your theater and your film and you're directing, assistant directing, producing, screenwriting. Um, you just had your 18th birthday recently, right?
Yes.
Happy birthday, Kristen. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's not too long after the first anniversary of my show. It was July 19th, 2022. So I'm going to make a toast to your birthday and my sort of birthday, my 1 year birthday for the show. So here, oh, oh, what's your friend's name?
Her name is Sassy.
Oh, is she sassy?
She's very
Is she
sassy.
sa Oh, so I assume that by naming her sassy, she's got like an attitude.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So, how old is Sassy?
She is 11 years old.
Oh
And
my gosh! Oh my gosh! Yeah.
yeah,
When's her birthday?
her birthday is on the last day of January.
Happy Happy belated birthday, Sassy. Happily, even though I'm 7 months late. Happy belated birthday, Sassy. So yeah. So so let's see. Well, let's see. Your dog. Let's see. Every year of a dog is like 7 human years, right? Something
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
So let's see. Your dog is actually 77. So she's been. Let's see if I can figure it right. She has been on Social Security for 12 years now, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Does she get her checks by mail or deposited electronically into her bank account? Does she have a bank account?
Hmm. Well, I guess she gets them physically by dog food and treats.
That I was going to say maybe you give her like a weekly allowance and she deposits in her savings account so she can buy her own dog food or something or
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
I give.
if she doesn't have a bank account, don't give her that idea because she'll get even more of a bad attitude. She'll say, "Well, I got my own money now. I can buy whatever I want," right? Yeah. So she's a purebred poodle, is it?
She's a Bichon, a
Oh,
full
okay.
Bichon. Yep.
Okay. Have you ever entered her into like any dog shows or anything?
No, we haven't because she is the runt of her like yeah, the runt of her puppies and her sisters and brothers, and she has like she's blind, so that's why I've
Oh my God. And is she blind in both eyes?
yes,
Oh,
sad.
jeez, jeez. Such a nice dog. I mean, she's so chill, it's like she just kind of taking everything in and well, probably her hearing makes up for her lack of sight, right? So I mean, dogs have good hearing anyway, but I imagine she must have like super extra excellent, amazing, awesome hearing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I bet you like if she's on one end of the house and maybe you and maybe the rest of your family are on the other end of the house, I bet you she can hear a pin drop, right?
I bet she can.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you better watch out what you say about her because she might be listening, even though you might be in another part of the house, like 50 feet away. You better say nothing but nice things to her, Sassy, I told Kristen and everybody in your family to only say nice things to you, okay? Okay. So,
Okay.
yeah, no, I mean, this is an added treat. I've had other guests on, and they've also had pets. So, I mean, anybody can come on my show if you got a pet, uh, somebody in your family, bring them on. I'll say hello. They can say hello to me, say hello to my audience. So I'm just glad that, yeah, I'm just glad that you brought Sassy on the air. So now Sassy has film credits, right? So
Yes, she has film credits
that's
now.
right. Yeah, yeah. Happy birthday, Sassy, and I hope you have many, many, many more. So, and yeah, what I was like I was mentioning your birthday, you're 18 years old.
Mhm.
Sassy's 11, going on 12 now. You're in your last year of high school, going to be graduating next year. And so, well, you've already talked a little bit about what you're doing after high school, college in California, journalism. So,
Mhm.
um, do you plan on, say, being involved in both like journalism and acting when you're in college, or kind of a little bit of both?
I'll be doing both. I'm going to do journalism and then I'm going to be doing acting too. The time that I have free, especially if it's a major role, though. If it's a major role, I'll be straight into that major role and I'll still be in college for journalism too.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, your exclusive major will be journalism.
Yes.
Okay, and so then as far as acting goes, um, you'd probably get involved on acting, say like on the side. If there's well, there is almost every college like an acting group in college. You plan on doing that as well, like joining an acting group?
Yes.
Okay. And also pursuing your professional acting career, right? At the same time?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, I'm really not worthy. I mean, it's like I'm down here, and it's like, well, let me keep my hand in the Zoom screen. You're way up here. I'm down here, and it's like you're way up here. So kudos to you, and best of luck with that. And, have you ever been out to well, I imagine you've been out to California there to visit the school, right? To know what it looks like, or if that's the school that's meant for you.
My dad, he's going to take me one day over there. Probably, it'll probably be during spring break. But he's going to take me over there and tour different colleges in California and especially dorms.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I know that's what I did years ago when I first went to college. A million years ago, unfortunately, a million years ago. Back when we all lived in caves, you know,
Yeah.
making
Hey,
fire by rubbing the sticks together, no lighters or anything. But yeah, that's the same thing I did. I looked, a few colleges, two or three colleges or whatever, and yeah, you sort of have to do that because you really can't know the college. Like if you look online at their website, you have to actually visit there, kind of get a feel for the place, the vibe, the student groups, the whole atmosphere about that, and also California is a good choice too because it's warm there, right? I mean,
yes.
it's got to be warmer than Kentucky, and I know it's way warmer than New York State. I know it's way warmer than so. I, I bet you that was like a big factor in your decision to go to California, right? Because it's warm out there.
Yes, that was like one of my number one factors. Oh,
I I
beach.
knew I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. 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 You're out there by the ocean. I mean, they got tons of beaches out there. Malibu. They got beaches, Santa Monica Pier, and stuff like that. So, yeah, yeah, you're absolutely going to love it out there. Yeah, I know you will. And yeah, so many places and things to do. And like you were saying, all the films that you've been involved in, now you made friends with all those talented actors, and they've helped you along the way now. Yeah, so when you go out there, well, I imagine they're out there too. I mean, a lot of them, reside out there. So, yeah, they'll, I mean, you'll be definitely closer to all those friends that you made. So that's a big plus with that there. So, yeah, yeah. So, I'd really like to thank you for being on my show today, Kristen. It's been an absolute blast. I've looked so forward to speaking with you, and now I know Sassy. And hello, Sassy. I'm your new friend. I hope you accept me as your new friend. I'd be honored and privileged to be your new friend. So,
Yes, yes, will. Yes.
so not everybody knows this, but we've been followers of each other on Instagram for quite a while, right?
Yes, yes,
And
we
and nobody knows this, but Kristen and I, we exchange emoji games, right, Kristen?
yes.
We will emoji until the cows come home, right? Right there, Kristen. I mean, some of our emojis are like that long, right?
Yes.
Just emoji after emoji. I mean, not one emoji, but I mean like groups of emojis, 10, 12 lines or something. And
Yes.
we'll just emoji away. So I was just saying to Kristen, if there was some way that we could have the emojis appear on the screen here, we'd probably do the emoji game here and we'd forget all about the interview, right?
Yes.
Right. We'd continue it. We'd continue it from our Instagram chat messaging and transfer it to the Zoom screen messaging like that. So yeah. So Yeah, thank you very much again for being on my show, for graciously accepting my invitation to be on my show. Thank you so much for the honor and privilege of meeting Sassy. It's been an equally amount of an honor and privilege for me, and I know it's been for the audience as well. So thank you both very much.
Thank you so very much, and Sassy does too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'll say goodbye to Sassy for now. Bye, Sassy. So
Bye.
yeah. So everyone, my name is Edward S. Redcar, the host of Edward S. Redcar's Entertainer Chat, and I have had the awesome pleasure of speaking with Kristen Duff today, and a big surprise, equally an awesome pleasure of speaking with Sassy,
Yeah.
Kristen's very good and loyal friend and family member. So I thank you both. I thank you, Kristen. I thank you, Sassy, for both being on my show. And until the next time, take care, have a good day, enjoy life, and we'll see you next time. And for me, Kristen and Sassy, so long.
Bye. Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much.
You're very
Bye.
welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure.